friend Don Lewis, coming to you from beautiful Florida. And today our question comes to us from In the Eyes of a Woman. And In the Eyes of a Woman asks, what is Thelema? And this is probably a more complicated question than In the Eyes of a Woman realizes she is asking, because there are a number of different answers. The first and most obvious is the literal definition. Thelema is an ancient Greek word referring to the divine will, or you might say the divine plan, the idea that deity is within all things, and all things that exist reflect the divine will, or, again, the divine plan. And you find this in mainstream Christianity, where in the Lord's Prayer there is a line, "Thy will be done," which refers to Thelema. The term will in this line is Thelema, the divine will, the divine plan. So it means that the will of deity is implicit in all things. Now, most people, when they use the term Thelema, are thinking of something else. And for a lot of people, that will be Rabelais and his famous story of Gargantua and Pantagruel. And in the story of Gargantua and Pantagruel, there is something called the Abbey of Thelema. And the Abbey of Thelema is presented as a utopian society, which has only one rule. And that rule is called the law of Thelema, do as you will. Here again, however, the term will refers not to the egoic personal will, but to the divine will. And do as you will in this case means that you should do what is in accordance with the divine plan, which will come to you naturally if you listen to the voice of deity inside. And the idea of the Abbey of Thelema is everyone can do what the divine will dictates to them, and if they do, they will always move to the good, and they will always do the right thing, because it is their true nature to do so. Now, the idea of Thelema, and the law of Thelema as well, finds place in many other historical examples, many other historical groups and pieces of literature. One of the most famous is the Hellfire Society, which was an 18th century organization that was a combination of a metaphysical order, a political think tank, and a group of drunken frat boys having orgiastic parties. Its most famous member was probably Benjamin Franklin. And it chose as its motto, do as you will, the law of Thelema. But again, the understanding is that by doing what you will, you are expressing the divine plan. Now, what In the Eyes of a Woman is probably referring to, and what most metaphysical people will probably think of, is the movement of Thelema, the religion or tradition or order of Thelema, whatever you want to call it, which was founded by Aleister Crowley a little over 100 years ago, and encapsulates his teachings, and has as its dominant rule, again, the law of Thelema, do as you will. But in the Thelema movement, there is the corollary, love is the law, love under will. And in this sense, Thelema as a movement is part of the ceremonial magic tradition, and is its own thing within that. So, I hope that answers your question and gives you something to think about, and until next time, may you blessed be.